Why are things worth money? Exploring what a commodity is and its value. A commodity is more than just a thing. Imagine a marketplace. The stalls are bursting with goods, from shiny apples to sparkling jewelry. Each commodity is more than just an object. It's the key to satisfying our desires, whether it's hunger, a craving for beauty, or the need to build something. Goods are like bridges between our needs and the world around us. They can be as simple as a piece of bread or as complex as a machine in a factory. But their essence is the same. They are useful. This utility is called use value. Does that sound abstruse? It's actually simple. It's how much a thing helps you in your life. Bread satisfies hunger, and a hammer helps you hammer a nail. But here's the interesting thing. It doesn't matter whether the need comes from an empty stomach or a dream of a new gadget. If a thing solves a problem, it is already valuable. Quality and quantity, two sides of the same coin. Every product can be broken down into two parts, quality and quantity. Quality is what makes a thing unique. For example, iron is strong, paper is thin, and diamond is shiny. These properties determine how and where we can use a thing. The same item can be useful in different ways. Paper is good for writing, and in a pinch, it is good for firewood. Quantity is how many of these things we need. A dozen eggs, a meter of cloth, or a ton of coal are all measured, so we can figure out how much use we will get. And that's where the story begins. How did humanity learn to measure that benefit? These are not just numbers, but the result of years of trial and error, from ancient bazaars to modern standards. Exchange value. Why do we trade? Now let's look into the heart of trade. Why is one good given for another good? This is called exchange value, the proportion in which things are exchanged. For example, how many kilograms of wheat are worth a pair of shoes? This proportion changes like the weather. Today, wheat is expensive, but tomorrow it is cheaper because of a good harvest. But behind this variability lies something more. Imagine you are comparing two commodities, say wheat and iron. 1 quart of wheat is equal to, say, 2 quintals of iron. What do they have in common? At first glance, nothing. But if you dig deeper, they're both the result of human labor. It's like two different dishes made from one ingredient, labor. It is labor that binds all goods together in one chain. Labor is the invisible thread that binds goods together. Here we get to the point. If you take away everything superfluous, color, shape, taste, there is only one thing left of a commodity, the labor that goes into it. Whether a carpenter made the table or a farmer grew the wheat, it all comes down to human effort. It's like an invisible thread that runs through every commodity, making it valuable. But not any labor. Imagine someone spends a week carving a spoon, even though a master craftsman will do it in an hour. Would that spoon be more valuable? No, because value is determined by socially necessary time. The average amount of time it takes society to create such a thing. If a steam engine sped up the production of cloth, its value fell because less labor was required. Why does value change? The value of a commodity is not a static number. It is as alive as a river and changes with the world. New technology, skillful hands, or a bountiful harvest reduce the time it takes to create a thing, and its value drops. And rare diamonds? They are few and hard to mine. So in every tiny stone, there is a huge amount of labor, and therefore a high value. But there are exceptions. The air we breathe or wild berries in the forest are useful but have no value because they require no labor. And if you bake bread for yourself, it is not a commodity either. It becomes a commodity only when you sell it to someone else. Bottom line, value is labor embodied in a thing. So, a commodity is not just an object. It is a lump of human labor that we measure in time. Use value answers the question, why do I need this thing? The exchange value says, how much labor is hidden in it. Together, they create a world where each thing has its own price and its own story. So the next time you buy something, think about this. You're not just paying for the thing, but for the labor that went into it. And that makes every product part of a larger human story.